I'm Slippy, I'm back, and today we're reviewing the KTW SPAS 12. This is the box. It's quite plain. There's nothing really too bad about it or too good about it. It gets the job done. You gotta order it from overseas, and when you get it, it's gonna be full of packing peanuts. Comes with a manual. It tells you how to take it apart, and on the back it shows a few of their previous products. Inside it shows you how to load it, how to unload, reload, take it apart, adjust the hop up, everything you really need to know. I wouldn't recommend taking it apart because there's no secondhand parts, but do it at your own risk. Quality wise, this gun is mostly plastic, coming from the barrel all the way to the stock. Most of the body is plastic, so light but strong plastic. Now the top rail, the front sight, and the bottom shell cover along with the safety are metal. Now with the shell cover, it's just for show. As you can see here, there's nothing really in there. I guess you can put something in there, but I don't really see the point. The safety on this gun is simple. You just take this right here, push it forward, and that locks the trigger. The magazine is right here, which is the bottom tube of the SPAS 12. Pretty much you just fill it up with BBs, just like you would, kind of like a speed loader or kind of like a Franchi SPAS 12. It's okay, but you cannot get extra magazines for this thing. And sometimes it misfeeds, and it's kind of a bitch to load with a speed loader. But it works. Adjusting the hop up on this gun is pretty easy. You just take a standard hex key and you turn it up and down. I don't like this because you have to use a tool, but I guess it works. Now this gun is unique that if you push it back it fires 1 BB, but if you push the sight forward it fires 2 BBs. Now this gun is really easy to pump. It's not like a tri-shot shotgun where you gotta put a little oomph into it. It's just smooth. You can slam fire it like some guns, but it just won't allow it. I guess that's a good thing. And it has a little ejection port thing, which is just for show, shows no purpose, but you can slam it forward with a charging handle if you want. This was chronoed with G&G 0.2 gram BBs. Sorry for the few timeouts. My chronograph isn't all that perfect, but it got the few readings. This is my final verdict of the KTW SPAS 12. Honestly, it's a good gun, I'd say. Now, the plastic is not as good of a plastic as the TM SPAS 12, and the TM SPAS 12 is pretty plasticky, but this plastic is a bit thinner. It is not scary thin like a Lancer Tactical, but it's still plasticky. I feel like if I drop this, it won't break, but I feel like if I'm way too rough with this thing, it's gonna break eventually. Another downside of this gun is that you can't get extra magazines. If your magazine tube breaks, you have to buy a new whole SPAS 12. But along with that, I don't see that breaking all too often. The only way I would see the loading tube breaking is if you try to modify it or if you overload it. Now, those are obvious things you just shouldn't do, but since it has a high capacity, I don't see you taking it out all that often unless it's in between games. You're either going to be using this as a CQB weapon where the rounds don't last too long, or as a sidearm where you won't use it all that often. Some of the upsides of this gun is it's a SPAS 12. SPAS 12 is cool, and your only other options are the ASG, which isn't 1-to-1 scale, or the TM SPAS 12, which is very rare to come across. Now this is a good alternative because along with being single shot, it's double shot. It's not tri-shot, but you can still fire more than 1 BB if you choose to. This also comes with the metal top rail, which you can use to mount accessories as you see in the picture. And honestly, it's gonna turn the heads. I know that it really doesn't affect the gun, but people are gonna think this is cool, and you're gonna think this is cool. Now, some people may frown upon the full stock, but personally, I think it's sexy. Now, it has a good FPS, you're gonna be able to use this in CQB, and it's gonna be a great gun for CQB. Now, with that said, I give this gun a 7 out of 10 on the Slippy scale. If you have the money, go buy it, but you can only get it overseas. I got this at Red Wolf Airsoft. That's the first weapon I've ever ordered overseas, and I'm glad I did. This is the review of the KTW Spaz 12. The next review is probably going to be the A&K Masada. Have a good night.